Have the Washington Square Park, not to be confused with the Washington Square Park of New York, but this is on the eastern side of Philadelphia in Center City, and a very nice park. Now there is a park on the west side that is even more popular, surrounded by 10 and 20-story buildings. That's nice. That's why it's a lot more crowded in the other park, but this park is much more easygoing because it doesn't have as many buildings around you. I'm sure, given time, there will be a lot more buildings surrounding the park, but that has not developed yet. So it allows for people to have a leisurely day in the park, surrounded by other buildings that are nice. You can see all these historic buildings around here. It's just beautiful spending a day in this park. And we're at the southwest corner of the park. Their view of Washington Square Park in Philadelphia. Just a wonderful park to spend a weekend in. You can see the high-rises that are nearby. And as I was mentioning earlier, I think in 20, 30, 40 years, there'll be a lot more high-rises around this park. It's just they have not developed it yet. I'm sure these buildings that we have right next to us here will be eliminated in 10, 20, 30, 50 years because the value of putting up a high-rise will be much greater than keeping a historic building. And even if it is historic, they'll figure out a way of getting around it being historic and putting up a high-rise. You can see here all the people and the beautiful fountain in the distance, where people are just leisurely going around. It's just great when the weather is beautiful, just to spend a weekend and a day in a park costs nothing. It's just pure enjoyment of your time. A lot of times people forget your time is valuable too. Your time. Though you might want to work, though you might love working, having some free time is a good thing too. People just don't appreciate it, and that's what parks are very good for, allowing people at no cost to enjoy the city that they're living in. And that, I think, is one of the thoughts behind creating the parks, because they want people to actually enjoy their city at no cost, sort of like a dividend that the city pays back to its citizens for just being part of the city. And there are different cities that have different concepts of what to do for parks and for the enjoyment of the people. Some cities enjoy playgrounds, but I think a park is an added plus for a city. It allows people just to be able to relax in an environment that is stress-free. And it's a very nice park at that. In the very center of Washington Square Park with this beautiful fountain on a beautiful fall day. It's actually September 22nd, so it's actually officially the first day of fall. And we're looking more towards the north now from the park. And if we look around, we're going to be looking towards the northwest right now in this corner. And you can see a memorial that's here. And here we have all the area around here. And where we were filming from earlier was down there. And you could see the beautiful buildings in the distance. So we were able to look from there to the fountain. But this just is giving another angle to see everything from. And this is more looking towards the southwest. And then as we turn, we're looking towards the south. And you can see all the tall buildings are now obscured by the trees. But that's okay. That's the whole point of having a park. To be able to forget that you're in the city. Be able to appreciate that you have nature all around you, because when you're living in a city long enough, you start to actually forget that there is a world of trees and grass and animals out there. You start to believe that the world is made of concrete, which it isn't. And a park is a very good reminder that there is a world of nature out there also. can see the people just enjoying the day, which is a nice thing. Take a look at the people who are just enjoying a day around the park. And the other park on the western side is called Rittenhouse Square. It's almost exactly the opposite of this park, where it's on the western side, approximately the same distance from Broad Street. But there, it's kind of like a central park to be in Rittenhouse Square, because it's much more crowded, much more popular. But that's one of the nice things about this park, that it isn't so crowded. It's much easier to walk around, and it makes it very easy just to spend an evening or a day here, just leisurely reading or doing anything you want, except going into the fountain. There's a sign here that says no dogs or people in the fountain, because I'm sure on a summer day some intrepid individual will be tempted to jump into the fountain without realizing that that is not permitted.